My grandmother warned me about the man in the shadows. Last night I met him. She used to tell me stories when I was a kid. Stories about a figure that lurked just beyond the edge of the light, waiting for the right moment to step out and make himself known. I always thought it was just a tale to keep me from wandering too far into the dark, a cautionary story meant to scare me into staying close to home. But as I grew older, I started to wonder if there was more to it, something deeper behind the fear in her eyes whenever she mentioned him. She would tell me to never leave the curtains open at night and to always keep a light on, because the man in the shadows could only come out when it was completely dark. I humored her when I was younger, dutifully following her advice, but as I got older, I started to forget, dismissing her warnings as the ramblings of an old woman. Last night I was reminded just how wrong I was. I was in bed, the house silent, when I suddenly felt a chill that seeped into my bones, a coldness that wasn't just physical, the kind of cold that makes you feel like you're not alone. I opened my eyes and saw that the curtains were open, the streetlights casting long, deep shadows across the room. I sat up, my heart pounding in my chest, and that's when I saw him. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, a shadow cast by the tree outside, but then it moved. It wasn't a quick movement, just a slow, deliberate shifting, like something was testing the boundary between the darkness and the light. The figure was tall, impossibly thin, with limbs that seemed to stretch unnaturally long, his face obscured by the darkness that clung to him like a second skin. I tried to convince myself it was a dream, that I was still asleep, but I could feel the sweat on my skin, the way my breath caught in my throat. The figure took a step forward, and I swear the shadows in the room grew darker, thicker, as if they were being drawn to him. My grandmother's warnings echoed in my mind, her voice trembling as she told me to never ever engage with him, to never look directly at him. But it was too late. I was frozen, unable to tear my eyes away as he moved closer, each step slow and deliberate. I could hear a faint whispering, like a voice carried on the wind, but I couldn't make out the words. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst, but I couldn't move, couldn't scream. He stopped at the edge of my bed, the darkness almost swallowing him whole, and for a moment everything was still. Then he leaned in, the shadows twisting around him like smoke, and I could feel his presence, cold and suffocating, like the air had been sucked out of the room. I don't know how long we stayed like that, me paralyzed with fear and him just standing there, his face hidden, but it felt like an eternity. Finally he straightened up, the shadows around him retreating slightly, and with one last whisper that I couldn't understand, he was gone, melting back into the darkness as if he'd never been there. I don't know what he wanted or why he came, but I know one thing for certain: my grandmother was right, and I'll never leave the curtains open at night again.